Welcome to the Primal Training podcast. I'm your host, Mamoun Bennani, a holistic fitness and nutrition coach. The goal of this podcast is to bring ancestral wisdom to the modern world by sharing insightful conversations with experts in movement, nutrition, and spirituality. I really hope to provide practical strategies to enhance your lives. Enjoy. In today's episode, I'm interviewing Louka Kurcer. Louka is the founder of Kettlebell.ca, a school that teaches about kettlebells and many other things. Louka's philosophy is functional and holistic, and he integrates the mind in the movement, which is something we will be discussing about, and also we'll be talking about his background and interesting stories. Looks all good. Everything's set up.
Everything's set up.
Thanks, Louka, for accepting this this talk.
My pleasure.
I'm really looking forward to this. We kind of met like randomly. Life makes things happen, and so I discovered what you do. First, I was looking for kettlebells, like a set of kettlebells, and it's like crazy right now to get a hold of anything.
Yep.
Got to find about his gym, and then looked a little bit in his website. I'm like, this is like a good, like where I see myself maybe like in 10 or 15 years. You have obviously more experience than me, but like when I saw like your philosophy, the way you train your clients, you really have this conscious like philosophy. You have this connection, the mind-body connection, and this is just from what I saw from the website, but I have many other questions that we will go through now. And yeah, just to give a little bit of background, you're going to give us a little bit more.
Absolutely.
So your story, you started what, 10 years ago, 15 years ago in personal training, focusing on kettlebells or?
Yeah, I started in 2012, and my story began with kettlebells because I actually was incarcerated for 7 years in my 20s.
Okay.
So when I was turned 21, actually I was in prison. And what got me there, of course, is another story, but I made some bad decisions when I was younger, and being in jail actually got me a chance to look at myself and learn about myself and learn about what I enjoy doing. And I got into physical training and arts and meditation and other things and literature. So you have a lot of time on your hands.
Right.
So what better chance than to transform your body? So I got into calisthenics, strength training, and I stumbled upon kettlebells by chance, but I don't believe in chance, but it was for a reason. And so I got into Pavel Tsatsouline's books through a friend of mine that had one of his books, and he gave it to me, and I got really interested in
that was in prison.
And the type of teachings that he had, because it was a different concept than the popular trend that you read in popular fitness magazines like Men's Health, Muscle and Fitness, and those other health magazines that are you could say in the that are out there and the most popular ones. Right. So what attracted to me about Pavel's teachings is that he made the complex scientific principles, he broke them down into something simple for everyone to understand. And he had you could say, we say 2-inch wide but a mile deep. So it's teaching not so many things, but having a really deep approach on the how, the why, the little details. So it's very technician oriented, but also minimalist approach. I like that.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. He was just showing me a few minutes ago how to do a swing, and this is the first time I see so many details in a movement that might appear like simple, but there's so many things that make it change a lot. Like I do swings from time to time, but I really feel it now because there are things that I kept in my mind and they made it really difficult. So I see that you embody his
the philosophy.
Teaching.
So it's getting the most out of the least and not having to do so many other things. I think for me, that's what attracted me to the philosophy, is being minimalist, but doing exercises or movements that really deliver if they're done correctly, but adding all these little layers of details on what happens inside, what happens to your breathing, your body, and how you apply it. Right. So I got obsessed with those type of books and his teachings.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to learn more. And the book was actually not based on kettlebell training, but on barbell. And it was only based on 2 exercises, which was the deadlift, barbell deadlift, and the press.
Okay.
So it's a book only focusing on 2 exercises, but he talks about the tension, the breathing, the principles, and where it comes from, like a strongman idea that you have to practice rather than work out. So the idea that we have to do a workout is completely, the conception is kind of a bit not, I think people would think it like they have to really push themselves all the time in their training, like they take it literally working out. But if we change our approach where you want to get better every time you train, you focus on how you do it. You focus on the details. You know, your hand positioning, your foot positioning, the muscles working, and your awareness of your body. So we think of more of our training like a practice, and rather than trying to do a workout, the word itself says that you literally work yourself out until you can't anymore. But if you in a sense that if you want to do it again, you can't have that philosophy. You have to do it where you get the minimal effect of those, and you leave the session feeling good, feeling energized, like a recharge, rather than burnt out. Because if you work out all the time, you lead up to burnout. You know. So, but if you think of your training as a practice and a recharge, you just end up feeling good, and there's no chance for plateau because you listen to your body so much. Right. So that's a bit of our approach, kind of like the old-time strongman martial arts approach to training, and that's where my roots started. And I got certified with Pavel Tsatouline into when he was with his older company, and then when I was at that time, he was transferring over to Strong First, which his company now, which we're a school of strength, and we teach people strength training, but as a philosophy, we teach like the 2-inch wide, mile deep approach, where we just teach you a few things, but really well, really well, so what's happening internally and all these things. So now I own my own facility, Kettlebell Club. I'm a proud owner, but at this moment, you know, because of the situation, I turned my gym into like a store where we sell kettlebells. So we sell kettlebells, we sell the philosophy, we sell training, but we're also educators. We help empower others with this tool. And we also teach calisthenics, which is accessible for everyone, which is nice. You don't need any equipment. But the same approach to calisthenics as we use with kettlebells, and also barbell as well. So it's really the level of detail, and we find people get more out of it. But it's not for everyone. You have to have patience. You know, you're not gonna get there right away. It takes a certain commitment for someone to wanting to really get there. But the results speak for themselves. People get stronger in a shorter amount of time, and they get hooked. You know, they get addicted to it. You know, once we show them this level of technique with the kettlebell, they get addicted to kettlebells. You know, they really like it. So long story short, I've been at it since earlier 2012 with kettlebells per se, and I learned kettlebells in prison because they had ordered some. And I got
Is that because of you, or
one of
them?
One of my friends was working for the rec department at the time, and I influenced him actually, because I was talking to him about Pavel, and we were ordering and sharing the books and stuff. And so he convinced them to order kettlebells there, and we started practicing the swing and the get up and snatches and stuff like that. And by the time I got certified, my teacher said, look, you already have pretty good technique. You just have to sharpen it a little bit more, but you already have it. So it was from reading all the books. And you know, my teacher John at the time, he said, look, Pavel he's forming his own team, and he wants you to be part of it. So it was an honor for me to join, and it's been, you know, history ever since, because I've traveled the world, going to many different countries, learning.
Wow.
I've been to Korea, Czech Republic, Italy, France, Poland, and I look forward to also all over Canada.
Yeah.
And I look forward to traveling some more. When things open back up again. But
Yeah.
it's like a passion. You're traveling, teaching, and learning also, and not just leading from example, but being a student at the same time.
Yeah.
Continuing the philosophy that I'm still a student, I still learn. So I love to learn. I always take courses every year, still educating myself and all
Yeah.
the time.
Wow.
So
What a
that's
story.
it.
What a story. Yeah. And so what was really like your wake-up call? Like there must have been something that clicked. I know, like something that changes the rest of your entire life.
Sure.
So what was the one thing, if you don't mind sharing?
I don't think it was one thing in particular. It was like a series of events, or you could say circumstances, and also the environment where I was at. Where I got into training, because I always wanted to do it, and I was inspired by, Arnold Schwarzenegger was a childhood idol of mine, through the movies and stuff, and growing, watching Arnold movies like Terminator, all those cool movies, right? So I got into kind of bodybuilding in prison, and that type of training, and so we got into the body part splits, the typical arm, leg day and stuff like that. And then I got more into the strength aspect because I wanted to improve. I enjoyed seeing my numbers goes up and seeing my body change and my body getting stronger.
Right.
So I looked for ways on how can I do that. Searched, any information I could get my hands on, books, magazines, reading everything I could that was available to me at the time on training and physical culture and strength training. So I ended up, like I said, reading Pavel's books, and that's what got me hooked. Is that the guy doesn't look so strong, it was kind of this skinny Russian guy, but he was, and what he was talking about was the culture, the physical culture aspect that I couldn't get anywhere else. You couldn't really find it in magazines or Men's Fitness or Muscle Fitness. That old school approach. So that's kind of what got me, you could say, I found my calling. And when I got into, learned about kettlebells, I said, this thing is cool. This thing is really unique. What is this? It kind of piqued my curiosity. So I said, let me try this. And then when I got to it, it just became a love, a love affair between me and the kettlebell.
And I feel like there's something like primal about the shape, like
totally.
The kettlebell itself. I can imagine like Greeks or Romans using it. There's probably some history. So it's Russian. I guess?
They say it's Russian. I think it's a super old tool. I think from what I've heard, it dates back over 300 years old. And if you look at its shape, it's a ball. It's an iron ball. And how did they start? Using this thing? It's was a cannonball actually. And during the war times, how you carried cannonballs was they had a hole through it. And they had like a little thin rod with a handle, and you just stick the rod through it, and that's how you would carry the cannonballs. So it was a cannonball with a handle. That's how they carried cannonballs from the ships or wherever they wanted to bring them. And so you think that probably soldiers or fighters, they would like sit around the campfire one day, start swinging them, and hey, look what I can do with this. So maybe that's where it started. But the original shape was actually they called it the girya in Russian. And girya actually means kettlebell, but it also stands for strength training. But its original design was for measuring cargo on a large scale. So it's the counterweight. So they used it for measuring cargo on for large ships or trains, stuff like that. So and then I think it grew into like traveling circus men, where they used it as for circus performer acts, where they would lift heavy weights and demonstrate in front of the spectators like what they could do, right? Lift at these used barbell or kettlebells, and then actually it became like a Russian pastime, lifting kettlebells. And it became a sport in around World War II called girya sport, GS. And it's a completely different style than what we do now. it evolved into the 80s into the military with the special forces, the Spetsnaz, and they used it with the soldiers to get them in shape for war, for fighting.
Okay.
Right, and they used it with hand-to-hand combat to get really strong and in a great condition for war.
Okay.
So they called it hardstyle, which comes from a martial arts philosophy of force meets force, that you're trying to really break boards or knock out, to have like the knockout punch. So when I was showing you my swing, it's very powerful, it's very intense. So it's with the idea that you want to knock out. You know,
Okay,
it's
interesting.
like a martial arts punch, or almost like fighting.
Yeah. Okay.
So
Interesting.
it's with that level of intensity that we train kettlebells. So that's where hardstyle kettlebell came. It's from that military concept that force meets force.
Okay.
You know, and they used it from some karate philosophies as well. So
All right.
that's where it kind of started. And then Pavel Tsatouline brought the kettlebell to North America in 1998. And then he formed the Russian kettlebell certification. And then, first he had his book, of course, it started the revolution. Then he had his certification. And then in 2012, he created Strong First, which is where we are now with the system. So it's been refining ever since, since 1998, so over 20 years.
Yeah.
So 21 years.
Okay.
23 years, actually.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
it's been a long time coming. I haven't done kettlebells for that long, but, you know, I learned from the best. I went directly to the source, and what was interesting for me is when I got out of prison, all the guys that I'd learned from in the books and the magazines, I got to meet them in person.
Wow.
You know, so my role models, when I learned in the books there, I got to meet them eventually.
Yeah. It's like a really manifestation of
Correct.
all these years, like studying and learning about them.
Yep.
Wow. Good. So now like you've been talking about a little bit your like this philosophy. We'll sure dive a little bit more into the kettlebell philosophy, but so what do you think is wrong with like other, like let's say mainstream fitness, or what you see people doing in the gym, or what's the thing that's adding, what's the positive things that kettlebells is adding, like when done correctly, of course, but what is it adding to today's fitness?
Yeah, great question. Like, kettlebells are just becoming mainstream now, and they've slowly been creeping up into the mainstream, and people are just realizing it now that it's a great tool for, you know, conditioning, strength, and doing workouts that are accessible from anywhere.
Yeah.
Because it's just a handle, you know, you could carry it, you could have it at home, and you could discreetly do your workout before, you know, your wife wakes up, or
yeah, right.
do it quickly and efficiently. So it's a really great tool to get these full body type of workouts done without the use of much equipment. It can replace an entire gym if you know what to do with it. You can, you know, train it to work everything, lower, upper body, core, you name it. But I think what's lacking now is the knowledge of how to use it, and the little details, the little technique, which may make all the difference. So I think it's just education for trainers and for people, is really learning from the source, because it tends to get diluted after a while, and people start grabbing in and say, yeah, look what I can do, and they like call themselves expert now,
right?
Because I can, you know, anyone can pick up a kettlebell, start using it, and just shoot a video post it on Instagram or Facebook, right? And say, yeah, watch me, and you know, people will get inspired by that, but they may send out the wrong message that to people that are not ready for it yet. You know, so it takes time to master something, and then I took years doing it. You know, so I think everyone still has to be a student and to continue their education, and to just learn, go to the source. You know, study it, study something before you start posting about it, and that's like the next best thing. Which it is, but I mean, I think people lack that education, and there's too many people getting hurt, and then I'll say, well, I got hurt doing kettlebells, but it's not the kettlebell itself that hurt you, it's the way you were using it, how you did it. You know, and it becomes less efficient, less effective for people if they just say, okay, I'll just watch a YouTube channel. You know, so I think education is undervalued these days, and people will just want to go to it right away and just buy the kettlebell itself, rather than maybe hiring a coach or getting a trainer to show them, or getting a master instructor. Even trainers nowadays, you know, I think they just kind of not it's a bad thing they do go for it. I think everyone should, but keep learning, keep educating yourself.
Yeah, and and it's also like it makes it more difficult that we live in a society we want the really fast information, the fast food of fitness or the fast food of anything. And unfortunately, like platforms like Instagram, I like it because I'm able to share my passion, but unfortunately a lot of people are gonna be drawn by the nice like looking videos. You see them like with the really good editing and like good music, something that goes fast, and it's going even worse with TikTok. So I see I would never, like, I don't want to go to TikTok, even though I know that that's where we're heading. We're heading into something that's moving even faster than Instagram. Even Instagram, like a few years ago, I would never go there. I'm like, that's too fast. I want to be somewhere where it's like a little bit more relaxed. But these are tools that we need to use efficiently, but unfortunately it makes it difficult because you just want to put things fast. Before coming, I watched some of your videos on YouTube, and they're good. They're pretty long. They're like you would explain a movement for 7-10 minutes, which you would never find on Instagram, where you find, just do this and that, and it's like super fast. And maybe it's benefiting a little bit, but it might be hurting other people. So
my content, my audience are for people that probably already know how to use the kettlebell, and I always tell people, look, it should come with a warning label. You know, learn the basics first. And I'll post content about workouts and stuff, but it's the principles never they never go away. You know, so it's really technique, safety before anything.
Right.
So that's really what we want to emphasize, is doing it properly and getting the most out of that focus.
Yeah, cool. And so this is the physical like movement components of kettlebell, and how there's one thing that I find really important, like in the movement the movement component is the fact that it's integrative. It moves your body as a whole, where like it's one of the things that are really wrong when you go to a gym and you see people training, it's always about isolating everything. Sure. And this is something I noticed not just in training. Let's say if you go for nutrition, for example, like we want to isolate everything. I'm getting enough vitamin whatever, I'm getting enough like 50-60 grams of proteins, and people would go like measure, and I'm like, I'm getting this protein, this amount of omega-3, this amount of this, of that. But people don't realize that if you ate, like, let's say you eat like like a piece of meat, or eat something, broccoli or an avocado, like things come in a way that they're absorbed together. And this is just an analogy that I see like with training. Like when you have like movements, they are better learned and they have a better effect when things come together. Not like doing a swing, you could just do this component and then do this component and then do this component, but I'm not sure like if it's gonna be as efficient as doing everything together, and it like engages your body as a whole. Totally. That's what I like about these types of movements.
Yeah, it's different than isolation, and the isolation part comes from the bodybuilding culture, where you're trying to hypertrophy one muscle group, and it's more like sculpting. You're trying to look a certain way or sculpt the muscle in a certain way. For us, we don't care so much about aesthetics, even though we get them as a nice side effect. I think it's more for the functionality, and just to say the word, of course, functional, but I think many times trainers or workouts will say functional workout, but they won't be. And there'll be a bit too much of isolation work done. You want to replicate things that you'll be doing outside the gym, which is carrying things. Doing movement patterns that the body will do as a human. You'll push, pull, squat, and lunge. These are movements that the body can do. This is how you want to train in an integrated way. You want to use your whole body to do the exercise, not just one muscle. So when you think of, let's say, the swing, has to be an integration of everything working together as one piece, as one unit, not just your legs, or hey, I'm going to isolate my core.
Yeah.
But for us, we don't do any core exercise. We don't need to.
Yeah.
Because every exercise is core.
That's it.
Everything is core,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Everything is, I'm using my lats with everything. I'm using my glutes with everything. I'm using everything with everything. You know, so even though there are, like, say, prime movers, we have like a squat, the prime movers are your legs. If I'm holding a kettlebell in the front, I'm front loading my upper body is very active. It's very engaged. So, you know, that's why we don't need to be doing accessory work so much unless you're a high level athlete and you're at that level. So it's really getting the most for the least. It's that minimal effective dose, the 80-20 principle, that you're going to get 80% of your results with 20% of your focus, the main exercises. You know, so we discard the rest that we find, you say, useless, you know, when we focus on what delivers.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned the core exercises, because I've had clients telling me, so when are we doing abs? I'm like, you've been doing abs all along.
Which is, you have to ask, actually, the client. You have to, I always communicate with my students, say, do you feel your abs in this exercise? And they say, no. Well, I have to teach you. You have to teach someone how to actually get them turned on. Which is sometimes you have to make that mind-muscle connection. You can't take it for granted that someone will know, you know, they will turn on, because they've been sleeping for so long. If they've been sleeping for so long, they don't know how to work them. Until it becomes autonomous or reflexive for that student. You know, you have to really make that mind-muscle connection for them and teach them how to brace. Or how to get that we say feeding the tension forward, that feed forward tension. So the isometric contraction.
It's really important. I really see the impact when you like put your intention, or like your consciousness, or whatever you can call it, in a specific muscle doing the exercise. It's fascinating how you would feel it way more. You would feel sore, like especially like for your core, because not many people realize how it engages. Like sometimes I would just be walking or hiking, and I just think about like every part of me like doing working, and it's also like when you do these types of functional training. Functional sometimes has like it's used for everything, but when your training has this functional nature, you really feel like your everyday life changes a lot. And one of the examples, like for me, running and hiking before, I would feel a lot sore in my legs, and which is normal. Like you would tell anyone, I feel sore in my legs because I was walking, running, or whatever. But when I started changing like my philosophy and the way I train, I can tell like I feel sore pretty much everywhere, because it's like you use your body so much differently. And whenever I'm getting tired a little bit here, I'm gonna be pushing, like swinging my arms, and you feel that at a certain point it's just a little bit soreness, but like divided pretty much throughout your body. And before it was like so much focus in my legs, because that's like I need to like move forward, and just my legs that are working.
We have a saying, we say spread the load. So you want to distribute the load throughout your body rather than one part. So that's our approach into training.
So this mind-body connection, is it something that you learned through your kettlebell teachings that you got from Pavlov? And I don't know if other Pavel? Okay, Pavel. Okay. And
people call him Pablo, and
I know. I wasn't sure if it was Pavlov or Pavlo. Okay, Pavel. Like, is it something that you learned through this experience, or did you learn it from something different, like more through like meditation, or?
It was introduced to me by Arnold when he was talking about it in one of his books, the Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding, talking about that it's really important for you to focus on your mind-muscle contraction. But he was thinking in terms of isolation. The way Pavel describes it is integration with everything else. So linking everything together. So you're stronger if your muscles are cheering each other on, rather than one part only working on its own. Right? So if we use the example of doing, let's say, a squat, you're actually going to have a stronger squat if you use your grip. If you grip the barbell, if you grip the kettlebell, if you grip the TRX or whatever you use.
Yeah.
So it's that whole body integration that links everything together.
Yeah.
It's called hyper-irradiation. So irradiation, it's like throwing a pebble into a pond. You throw the pebble and then there's a flicker of there's a ripple effect.
Right. Yeah.
So when you make a fist, if you make a fist right now, and you squeeze harder, and you squeeze harder, and you squeeze harder, then your abs come on, your legs come, you see, you felt, then everything starts to come on around it,
right?
Just by contracting harder, but just focusing on doing that. That's the idea of the full body tension, having everything turn on when you're doing a lift. To be stronger as a result.
Okay. Wow.
And you use the breathing, and then you're even stronger.
Yeah. So what's your breathing routine, or the way you use it for your training? Because I know that there is. I've learned it different way. I think we talked about it one day. That like the one I knew before was like exhaling when you do the difficult part of the movement. And I would do this with my squats, and I would do this all the time. And then I learned through Paul Check that you actually want to inhale when you expand. Like, let's say you're coming out of your squat, so you're inhaling because you're making space. And then if you, let's say you're doing a crunch, for example, even though I don't do crunches, but like if you go like this, you want to make space, so you exhale. And I've been doing this. So what's your take on breathing? Yeah,
it depends on your goal, and we can apply it to different case scenarios. So you really have to take it into context. Breathing is key for everything you want to do, from relaxation, from calming down, from able to control stressful situations, from meditation, and from training and creating. What you understand is, what's the objective here? What are you trying to do? What's your task at hand? If I'm trying to lift a very heavy object, I want to create intra-abdominal pressure. And the moment you breathe in, if you don't know how to do what's called breathing behind the shield, then there's a chance for leakage, or for the tension or the pressure to let out. So think of a balloon.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Let's think of a balloon you blow up the balloon. There's more pressure and it's more solid. It's stronger. But think, if you let it deflate, it's like weaker, right? The pressure kind of goes in, and you're able to push it more in. So think of your torso like a box. You really want to be able to stabilize. It's all about stability.
Okay.
When you create that stability, that proximal stability, then you could create strength and stability throughout the rest of your joints. Right, so it comes from the middle, from your torso, and you have to create that stability, the intra-abdominal pressure, if you want to lift heavy loads. There's no other way. But if your objective is to relax and to do as many repetitions as possible, then you have to find ways to relax, because tension takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of effort, and you can't do it for long periods of time. It's like a sprint. It's very intense. Your power is going to drop very quickly. So you can't sprint for more than literally probably 10-15 seconds. Then you're going to stop dropping speed. Quality is going to go down. So again, it has to be taken into context. What are you trying to do? If you're trying to do, let's say, Hindu squats, exactly. Use that type of breathing. It's going to help you. It's going to help you flow better, and it's going to help better for endurance.
Okay. Depends on the intensity.
Depends on the intensity. It's going to create less restriction for the blood flow as well.
So like, I guess like if you go like 15-20 reps, you want to do this, and if you like go in like hard, like
maximum tension for 15-20. So you have to kind of relax, and maybe towards the end, towards it gets harder, you're able to squeeze more out. Use a little more tension for the very last ones. So it has to be taken into context. What's the goal? So breathing is a kind of a gateway for something that you're trying to achieve.
I think we should always ask ourselves, like, what's the goal? Like, we're always following like influencers and athletes and people like all around, like, oh, he's doing this, I'm gonna do the same. But like, what are you trying to achieve? And we should always keep that in mind.
Totally.
So now we talked about like your breathing. So what about like your overall routine? Like, how do you like how do you like how would you achieve like your maximal potential? As I know, like your goal is different from other people, but like what's like the routine that's ideal for you?
For me or for someone?
We'll start with for you, and then we can ask the other question, which is we can find like a general goal that many people have, like let's say like lose weight or just feel better, like COVID is hitting all of us. And so we'll start for you, like with your goal, and what is the routine that you're keeping?
I have a very particular case. So I run a business, and I'm soon to be a father, actually.
Oh,
and
congrats!
So, you know, timing is an issue. So I have time constraints, and anyone that has a time constraint is a busy person, whether you're an entrepreneur or a worker, if you work for a company or you run your own business, whatever the case may be. You're a student, you go to school. I think this is the case with most people, unless they spend their day in the gym, right?
Yeah.
So you wanted the most for the least. In my case, I'm a minimalist at heart.
Right.
I could be content with doing the same program for months on end.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's the case with most people. I think most people will need a little more variety than myself.
Yeah.
So I've been doing swings and Turkish get-ups for the past 4 months.
Just these two?
Just these two.
Wow, okay.
Because I know that they deliver so much benefits, and I'm content doing them day in, day out, every day. It takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to complete a session without rushing the clock. I'll just do my workout.
Every day?
Every day, yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much every day, unless I have an issue, but I will usually train every day. But I could see steady progress.
Okay.
I see my weights going up. It's like laying a brick, you know, but you have to lay a brick one by one. You can't build the house in a day.
Yeah.
So imagine if you have, you know, every day you put a brick, every day, and then within a year, you may have a house or a room or something like this.
Yeah.
But it builds a foundation for later success. I think too many people, they try to build a house out of straw.
Yeah.
You know, and then it crumbles.
Yeah.
So they did a lot of studies with, you know, different types of programs, and the quicker your gains, the quicker you will lose them. But the more time it takes you to build the foundation, the more you will hold on to them, the more they will become permanent.
Yeah.
And they will become more concrete. Your body will actualize that potential. So you really have to take your time into training and not force progress, not force adaptation.
Yeah.
People try to force adaptation, they will push, they'll redline their body, and these are only short-term tactics. It'll lead to short-term games and plateau, and they will lose it just as quick as they'll get it.
Yeah.
So I take my time in my training. That's for me.
What if I play the devil's advocate and I would say you need variety to always stay stimulated, like your body would need. Like let's say if you focus on like one or two patterns, your body would not be adaptable. What would you think about this?
I think there are many approaches to training, and I will follow up another question is, are you seeing progress in your training? That's the question you have to be able to say yes or no. Is, are you able to track your progress? If the answer is no, you have to reduce your variables. You have too many variables, sir. Because you cannot tell me if you're actually getting better. So people will change their workouts every time. It's great because they're active. And I know that people have to find something that they enjoy doing. And it's a distraction from the everyday. So they're still staying active in their training. But if you really want to get down to the gist of it, are you making progress? Are you getting stronger? Are you building muscle? Are you losing weight? Are you improving your skill? You know, so are you able to track if you're getting better? So if you want to change your exercise, change it. But in training, there's only so many variables you can change. And I think people should change their variables one at a time. And they don't have to kind of, you have an expression, throw out the baby with the bathwater. It's like throw everything out, so I need to change everything all over again. So they never really get to improve. You know? So if you want to improve into one thing, you have to keep it in your program, but you may have to change it slightly to keep saying an improvement in the exercise or the movement. So for example, if you want to improve your bench press, then I'm gonna go from maybe incline to flat bench, or I'm gonna go from wide grip to close grip.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna change my programming so much that it completely changes my focus.
Yeah.
So again, it goes with what's your goal, what are you trying to achieve. If you're just trying to stay motivated and you enjoy the variety, I say go for it. If it's keeping you motivated, I think that's the first step. I think most people, that's the hard part.
Yeah.
Is kind of staying with the routine, but finding something for them that they can do that's repeatable, that they enjoy doing, and it's sustainable for them over long term. It's you being able to sustain it. Problem I see is people, they feel like, oh, they haven't done nothing for months, and they go ahead in the gym and they spend 3 hours in the gym and they kill themselves. They do every machine, every circuit in the gym, and then the next day they're so sore, they kill themselves. They need a whole week to recover, and they give up, and they don't do it. So you can just do a little bit, you know, once or twice a week. Just slowly get into an easy routine. You don't have to do every body part. You just do global exercises like squats and push-ups. Start to feel good again. You don't have to kill yourself in a gym. That's what I would tell people to do. But keep those same exercises in your program. That way you can see an improvement.
Yeah.
You know, and track your results.
Yeah, I like this strategy because it's like a medical research kind of setup. You wanna test like a medicine or like a vitamin or something. You wanna isolate it just by itself and see like how. Yeah. Otherwise, it's like too much variables, and like, oh yeah, the people are getting better, but like they were maybe like exercising or sleeping better. So there's like a lot of variables, but it's good to like keep everything the same and then change things.
Exactly.
One thing
so I keep doing only 2 exercises in my program for the time being, and I know I can condense my workout on certain days. I can finish my workout a little sooner if I keep the same variables. I know I'm doing 10 sets of 10. How long did it take me today? Okay, yesterday I did it was a little bit longer. Today I finished it in a shorter time, so I was a bit better.
Yeah.
You know, so these are the little variables. I change one variable at a time. And with kettlebells, programming is different than with other like Bodyweight or Barbell or Dumbbell. It has to be programmed a little bit differently.
Yeah. Okay. So now we talked about like your objective, your goal. Like I'm gonna say something that might resonate with a lot of people. Like I get clients, people contacting me. They're working from home, lacking motivation. They try to go to the gym, but it keeps closing and opening. It's getting cold. They don't want to be outside. There's this amazing option that they can have a kettlebell at home, which I recommend. Like everybody, like just contact. Like I'll put Louka's contact after, and you can get yourself some kettlebells, which is amazing. That's what I do now at home. But like someone is like they're lacking the motivation. They don't have enough energy like to think about like changing their routine. They're just like in their day-to-day. Like an average person would want to lose, I don't know, 10-20 pounds, get like a little bit fitter, getting more motivation. What are the things that you think would be essential as a new routine?
Absolutely. So there's a few things. I think number one, it comes down to simplicity, simplifying things, and coaching. If you do not know what you're doing, if you're lost about what to do, hire a coach, get a personal trainer or someone that can guide you, make a personalized plan for you, something that's more tailored. Another thing too that is nice is the community aspect. You know, join maybe a group class. Now people are doing it online. Find your tribe. Find something that you like doing that you can stick to. If you're that type of person that can do it on their own, it's having an easy routine that is simple, not overcomplicated, that is accessible, and you see yourself doing it regularly. So I would only recommend a handful of exercises for people to just do and get better at, and practice. Have the philosophy that you want to just get better, that you want to practice. You don't have to work out, but just practice it, and it doesn't have to be a certain amount of time. It could be intermittent. If you only have 10 minutes, just do this for 10 minutes. Just do 2 or 3 things. You know, and focus on your body, focus on the feeling at the beginning. So, you know, focus on movement patterns, such as a squat or push-up or pulling exercises. You know, do movement patterns that will benefit you outside the gym. You know, and then if you don't know what to do, hire a coach, get someone to guide you and to give you a program. Because a lot of the times people will kind of say, oh, this looks cool, so I'll try this, and they end up giving up. It was too hard, or they get injured, It's not for them. It's not at their level.
Yeah.
You know, but generally that's my advice.
Yeah, we focus so much on finding the perfect workout or routine, but the perfect workout is the one you do. If you just
Correct.
if you just do something, move for 10-20 minutes every day, just walk. This is like
Correct.
a perfect, because you're able to do it every day.
Yes.
But yeah, we need to change our mind. Like we live in a crazy world where like there's just too much information. There's too much. People
Agreed.
are stuck, and you just get stuck like trying to find the perfect thing. And
Agreed. It's hard to like decipher what's good. What should I do?
Yeah, things
So
keep simple, and
keeping it simple.
that's what you guys do, and it's cool. I personally fall sometimes in the trap of like functional training and try to put like a lot of variables to keep people simulated, but I'm also like convinced that sometimes we need to keep even though I put like more variability, I always make sure that it's always the movement patterns that come back. And I would be having a client, sometimes they get bored like doing like one type of exercise. I would just like switch it a little bit. Sure. They're still doing the same pattern, but it makes them feel like they're doing something exciting new. Like, oh yeah, that's cool.
I think you have it right, and there's a few more things I want to add to what you're saying. First is you have to have fun.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy it, and find ways to keep it interesting. You know, keep the same movement patterns and help them progress. If they see results, they're gonna be motivated to stay. That's gonna make it more fun for them. If they're increasing weight,
yeah,
you know, rather than distract them with the new and best thing, the newest exercise that people, you know, your celebrity trainers doing. It's just focusing on the basics, and also educating the people, telling them that this is really what's gonna give you the best bang for your buck, most benefit for your investment in time.
Right.
You know, so yeah, you can cook a squat in many ways, but it's still a squat.
Right.
Keep doing squats.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. That's it. Keeping it simple.
Keeping it simple.
Right. Well, I think we're wrapping up now, getting to the end. I'm really enjoying this so far. So there's these questions I ask my people that I have on every time is, so when you woke up this morning, was there something, like one thing that you're grateful for?
Grateful to be able to change people's lives, because even though, you know, gyms are closed right now, current situation, people need us more than ever. They need our voices to be heard. We need to speak louder, because we have to be at the forefront of prevention in the healthcare system.
Right.
Not just wearing masks, you're getting vaccinated, which is fine, and those things can work. But what's the root is the healthy diet, healthy lifestyle, right? The training, the stronger immune system.
Yeah.
Because if you're strong already, you can be resilient. If you do get sick, you can bounce back, and you'll have more chances of making it.
Yeah.
So that's it. Just living a healthier lifestyle, being stronger mentally, physically, and for me, it's being able to promote these things right now, which everyone is online, so it's great. We have great opportunity.
Yeah, it's such
social media.
Yeah, I find like it's such a good time to be doing what you're doing, and I realized that during this time of COVID, when I was training clients and so many people, like I could see so many personal trainers that are changing their career. They're like, this is not the right time for me. I was like, this is the exact right time to do this, because people, I feel like in 2020, people are looking at themselves in the mirror. There's a lot of things that are changing, and people are taking the time to be with themselves. And I don't know how I'm feeling this, but I'm just feeling it. It's something that I could feel it, that people are taking their time. And what's happening is they're either getting locked in a negative state of mind of everything is fucked, there's nothing I can do, and I'm just gonna stay home, order pizza, and work on my whatever thing they're working on their computer.
Sure.
Or other people they're like they're changing immensely, and I had new clients coming in, and they have this motivation, this crazy motivation. They want to change their lives because they took the time to go in the deep cave and think about things they want to work on. And that's what's creating like a separation. I feel like there's like this big separation of people like stuck in this state of mind, this negative state of mind and other people that are waking up. And it's such a good time to be at this time where you can share your knowledge and empower people to kind of, because they have the motivation. They just need someone to give them like a little bit of knowledge and push them. That's what we're here for. We're not here to, like, I don't like saying like some people look for personal training for motivation. I don't think it's right, because the motivation comes from you, because you came, talk to me, and I'm here to tell you, give you tools so you can move ahead.
We're here to inspire and empower.
Yeah.
And educate.
Yeah. So I think it's the right time to do this. So yeah. And
same.
Yeah. And another question, what is the one, not worst mistake, but best mistake you've ever done?
I think thought about this, is killing myself in the gym. So
Yeah.
doing these intense programs and being rigid about this is the way it should be, these are the results I should have, and then ending up by burning out and making mistakes and going backwards, getting injured.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I realized that progress happens at its own. Your body is gonna want to adapt naturally.
Yeah.
You stimulate it with the right amount of training, and you don't have to do more. So I like to have the minimum effective dose in my training, which is let's say the rate of perceived exertion, which is in my workouts.
Yeah.
Like 7 or 8 on 10.
Yeah.
You know, some days I'll dial it back to a 6. If I do a competition or I'm doing a test, I'll push it to a 9.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I don't need to kill myself every time I hit the weights or do my training. And I did that for a while, and then I was journaling, and then just things became worse.
Yeah.
You know, so I've been doing it and made all the mistakes in the books.
Yeah.
You know, so realizing now I can tell people, look, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
Yeah, it's good to make mistakes. Just don't make the same one. Make
Right.
different ones and learn from them.
It's nice to push yourself once in a while. You know, if you have a training partner or you're in the community and people are encouraging.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be like going to war every time with yourself. You know, you put too much pressure on your mind and it's too stressful.
Yeah.
So just don't make your workouts so stressful.
Yeah.
Enjoy them. Enjoy your body. Enjoy your strength. Keep making progress. And listen to your body as well.
Yeah, and it also comes down also to your objective, your goal, because like one example I have is I watch this crazy like trail runners. They do like ultra marathon, 100 kilometers and plus, and when you see them like doing what they do, their bodies are destroyed. They're fully aware of it. They know they know that what they're doing is gonna kill them, and it's like killing their body, and but they do it with the purpose, and the purpose is not the physical. It is a physical challenge, but it's the mental challenge, and it's what they gain mentally. They have like eye-opening experiences. They know more about themselves. It's like, I feel like people should be aware about what they're doing. If you go, let's say, do an ultra marathon, you're not doing it to have stronger legs, because you won't. I mean, like, you won't be healthy. It's you're probably healthier than someone who sleeps on the couch all day, but still, these people know that there is a drawback, but they do it with a purpose, and we should do the same for everything, for every workout, for
whatever extreme you get to. There's a cost.
Yeah.
You pay a price for whatever extreme you go to.
Yeah.
So you want to stay in between.
That's it.
If you decide to go that way, then you'll get the glory. But there'll be a price to pay.
Always.
There's a cost to adaptation for anything.
Absolutely. Yeah. Even if you go like medium, you're not going crazy. You're going like 5-6 exertion level. You're still paying something. You're paying for not doing anything. You're paying for not doing a lot, and it's the power of choice. We're just choosing whatever works for us, and we're paying the price.
We also want the rewards. That come with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Well, that's a wrap. If people want to know more about what you do, I guess what would be the best place? Instagram?
Both. They can go to my page, Kettlebell Club, on Facebook or Instagram.
Yeah.
This is our studio, how we help men and women transform.
Right.
So they can find out about more what we do. If you want to look me up on Instagram at Kettlebeast.
Okay. I'm going to share all these links. Yeah.
My link. And I'm on YouTube at Hardstyle Kettlebell Pro.
Okay.
To get tutorials, workouts, and information, programs, stuff like that, some good info on the training.
All right, I'll put the links for everything. Louka, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me here. It's a nice gym, and I encourage you to look what he does. And yeah, watch his YouTube videos. They're really, really good teachings. Thanks, Louka.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Talking to Louka was really insightful, at least for me. I learned a lot of things, and I'm hoping that I would integrate them in my routine and with my clients as well. If there's one thing I would remember from talking to him, it's always thinking minimalistic. Don't overthink things. Don't try to overcomplicate just to make things look fancy, but just do the basics and you might see good results. Especially now with the COVID, all gyms closed, just get yourself a set of kettlebells. Find a good coach, someone who's gonna show you how to do the movements safely and efficiently, and just do it.